Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? So, I'm not gonna lie, I had to do this video over a few times because some things were just not adding up and it was not making sense at all. So, I had to start over. But if you know, it's your girl, Rhonda, and every other weekend, I'm gonna start doing self videos, basically just about myself, um, spiritual talk. Um, what else? My career goals, uh, trauma, being a solo mom, just any of that. Like I'm just, anything that has to do with me. Um, I'm just gonna start working on. Start working out. What am I talking about? I'm gonna start doing videos on stuff like that, right? For myself. It'll be every other Saturday when my daughter's not here because I can, peacefully do this video and not be interrupted. Um, so today, today's a lovely day. It looks lovely from where I'm sitting. it looks nice. The sun is giving enough, right? It's not all shining in here. Actually, I don't get no sun in this room, which is kind of sad. I just get the light of the sun, but I don't get no sun in here. You get what I'm saying? Like there's, it's light enough that you can see me, but the sun don't come this way, which is unfortunate. Um, yeah. So today, what I want to talk about, I'm moving a lot. Today, I want to talk about is my trauma, with um my childhood trauma. I want to talk about my childhood trauma and how that plays a part into my relationships, what I seek out in a man. Um, let's just get to it. So, start from young. I was on SSI. I was on SSI until I was about 19, maybe. I was on SSI since I was born. The reason being was my brother and sister had came out with disabilities, and they just assumed that I was the same. This is the story. This is the story I heard, so I'm just going with what I heard. Don't know the true facts, but this is the story. Um, yeah. So my my sister and brother came out mentally disabled, mentally and physically. Not physically, really. No, not physically. So mentally disabled, and they just assumed that I ended up with the same thing. So they put me on SSI. Um, fast forward, um, elementary school, I was in like regular classes. I wasn't in special ed or anything like that. I was in regular average class, from kindergarten up. I remember my sister used to making fun of me being in special ed. Oh, am I fault? I don't know. What's my fault too? I don't remember. But I remember my sister vaguely making fun of me of making fun of me being in special ed. And I wasn't. I was in an average class, a regular classroom with about like 25 kids, maybe. No, that's a lot. I had like 20, maybe 20, maybe 15. But a special ed class is about like 6 to like 8, maybe 10, with two teachers inside the room. Um, and I remember having evaluations. So when you're on SSI, you have to have these evaluations. And the person that I remember going to one, and I remember one of my sisters, I think my older sister, was telling me like, play dumb, play stupid, act like you don't know nothing. If they ask you any math questions, or if they ask you like what's this, what's that, act like you don't know. So I went there and act like I didn't know, right? Um, and I continue to get benefits, and this is just all just to continue to get benefits. If you were smart, or you can do the math and tell them what you've seen in the pictures. I remember, like, those pictures that they do, the psychiatrists or whatever, the pictures that they show you. um if you was able to answer those, I guess you would get the money taken away. So I just played dumb, and um I just played dumb and yeah, I guess continue to get the benefits, right? So fast forward to junior high school. Well, I've been to, like, I can remember I went to a lot of junior high schools because one, we got evicted from the place we was at. So the first junior high school that I went to, I ended up moving from. The second junior high school I went to was in Queens. So I went to like two junior high schools in Queens. One I ended up getting kicked out for fighting, and the other one we ended up leaving. We ended up the shelter ended up closing down, so we ended up going back to Brooklyn, and I ended up being in junior high schools in in Brooklyn. So I was all over the place, all over the place. But yeah, like, so I never felt intelligent enough. I never felt like I never felt smart enough. Um, Even though I was aware of my abilities, or I was aware of not feeling that way, I really didn't do anything about it, or I wasn't really encouraged to do anything about it. Like, my mom, she so called couldn't read. My dad, he was great at math, but he wasn't really teaching us um, any valuable lessons, or he wasn't really, like, he would help me with my homework when I had spelling tests. A spelling test, you can catch me any day on a spelling test. um, yeah, I always come home with some hundreds or nineties, like nothing below. Like, if it was a spelling test, I'm coming home with 100 or 90. So my dad did help me out with that. Math, I was like, eh, I was so on. Really wasn't. And then, like, social studies and science was just average shit. Like, you just gotta remember what you're reading, right? Science, I loved science too. Science is one of my favorites. Social studies was boring to me, but I was in an average class, right? I didn't show um I didn't excel at anything than my peers. I guess we was just all average. Ooh, a spit. I think we was just all average, right? I remember one boy though in elementary. He was very, very good at math. He was very, very good at math, but what he struggled in was like reading, and yeah, he struggled in his reading area. Like, he barely could read, um, and I don't know, like, I guess, yeah, like, we was just just average kids. Um, so I'm trying to I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so uh, through high school, I really didn't finish high school. I was in a school with like 1,000 plus kids, so that's a lot of freaking kids. From ninth to 12th grade, that's a lot of freaking kids. It was like, I was overwhelmed. I tried to get transferred to a different school, but because of the distance, it was going to be longer for me to get to the school that I wanted to go to, right? So I ended up just dropping out. I was trying to go to alternative schools. Things just didn't work out. Then I ended up finding a program where they helped. It was like a construction program, but I also was taking GED classes. So I did that, and Actually, I did one program, right, that's supposed to help, that was helping me get my GED. I failed by like a few points. And then I ended up going to a construction program, and I ended up, let's see, I ended up passing my GED, or passing the test to get my GED. Um, but there was something inside me that never really felt just like as smart as I wanted to be, right? And I could have worked on that. I could have um, read more. I could have what could I have done? I could have just taught myself more, right? I mean, at this point, I'm a teenager, man. I'm doing teenager shit. I'm like hang around with people that freaking smoke all day. That shit killed my brain cells instantly. I tell you, like I used to, and that's another thing. Like I was just a product of my environment, unfortunately. Um, just seeing, my sisters smoke. When I got introduced to it, I used to fall asleep. I just fall asleep and waste my high. And um, that's all I wanted to do. I'm a teenager. I'm motherless. I have my dad, but he's not really actively like, and he's active. I was living with him. He was active. He was active in my life, but he wasn't really actively teaching me, wrongs and rights. He wasn't setting no values. He wasn't really, hard on me like he should have been, and that's not his fault or whatever. I should just been a good ass kid and then did what I had to do. But I did. I followed the crowd. I followed the crowd. So yeah, I was smoking, drinking. I see what other people did. I did it. People wasn't going to school. I wasn't going to school. Um, yeah. So I just never really felt like on that level that I wanted to be on. And I ended up, but I was always smart. I just always second guessed myself. I was very intelligent. I just second guessed myself, or I compared myself to someone that, knew a lot of words or used bigger words. And I felt like, I felt less than, which I shouldn't have. Just because their vocabulary is more high and advanced than mine doesn't mean I'm less than the person, right? So that's how I felt. I just didn't feel, I didn't feel smart enough. Um, so I seeked out men that was smart and men that was intelligent and had a lot of knowledge and um, my best or knowledge, experience in life. I always had a thing for older guys. Like I never really wanted to mess with dudes, or yeah, they would have mess with dudes that were in my age bracket, because I'm like, they're immature. They're not, I mean, you look at them, like all they think about is freaking Jordans and how fly they look. Like I wanted somebody more advanced, somebody more intelligent, somebody that can teach me something. And unfortunately, these are all life lessons, so I take it as it is. But I ended up falling for my best friend. We were best friends for 3 years, and we were in a relationship, a committed relationship for two. Right? That didn't work out, but there was a lot of belittling in the arguments and making me feel like I'm not worthy, or just making me feel really ignorant. I was feeling really ignorant um, in a relationship. When we have arguments, I just was not making any sense at all. And like I said, with the weed, I couldn't remember what I just said. I mean, I could have been having an argument, and he like, "Would you just said this?" I'm like, "No, I didn't," and I surely did. But my brain cells was just dead. Like I couldn't. My memory part was just really effed up, right? So Yeah, from that relationship, I ended up, leaving. Well, we ended up parting ways, right? I called him cheating. Things just wasn't working out. We ended up parting ways. Um, so, fast forward, I ended up getting a relationship with my daughter's father. He was very highly intelligent. Like, oh, he was really, really smart. He knew a lot about a lot. And he knew how to hold a conversation. And I learned a lot. From him. But there also was belittling in that situation, right? There was a lot of condescending actions, and it just didn't work out. I say all that to say is that. I say all that to say is that. I say all that to say I seeked out something that I wasn't feeling within myself. So I seeked it out and from my partners, people that I was interested in. And I think any woman that is smart and intelligent should definitely be seeking out someone that is, like minded like her. But also, though they were smart, um, they lacked in other areas, right? Awareness, one. Just you're aware that you're smart, but you're not aware of how you are making me feel. You're not aware of you belittling me or using my words against me and making me feel less than. So that was another thing. Um, and I'm working on my intelligence. I'm not gonna be Albert Einstein, okay? But I have the capabilities of showing up in a room that I feel that I'm not welcome in. Like before, I find it hard. Excuse me. I find it hard to have conversations with people because I'm so into my head, and I'm sitting here, thinking of, oh, this person. Every time I talk, um, no one's listening to me, or no one's gonna hear me, or stuff like that. Like, I just have to make myself be seen in the room, and sometimes I shy away from that. And I know I'm a person that is capable of doing that, making myself be seen in the room and feeling like I belong there. That's For me, that's a work in progress. Like, just making myself feel like I belong in a room where I usually, or before, I wouldn't feel comfortable being in, because everyone, have degrees, and everyone has some type of sort of success. And I know that takes a level of being I know that takes knowledge, right? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just gaining knowledge as I go. um and I'm proud of myself for that. Cause, and then also, just like I said, I was a product of my environment. So whatever I seen, unconsciously, I was seeing things around me, not knowing that I was partaking in that, and just showing like, oh, I seen my sister drinks and smoke, so I'm gonna do the same thing. So subconsciously, I didn't know I was mimicking other people when I should be mimicking, someone that is what I see for myself. And now I am. Now I'm doing that. But before I wasn't. Um, and what else? Yeah. So I just try to really sum it up real quick, because I know my videos can be very long. But I just try to sum it up real quick of like why I seek out the men that I do. And that just comes from my childhood. A lot of things, come from your childhood until adulthood. And when you realize that, it's either you're going to fix it or it's going to be the same thing for you. Like, if you don't want nothing better for yourself, of course you're going to repeat the same patterns. But for me, I'm very aware of that. I don't want to be in the same situation that I see other people, you know. Unfortunately, I am, but I'm working my way out of that. I don't want to be in the situation no longer than I have to be. And I'm just trying to better myself day by day and take it one step at a time. Sometimes I can overwhelm myself with a lot, and I can feel overwhelmed when I start thinking about all the things I have to do, all the things that I want to accomplish. But I have to also live in the present time and be grateful for where I am and what I have accomplished and the stuff that I do know. Um, yeah. I keep pausing and be like, yeah, because I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. It also it was kind of hard for me, way back then, not that long ago, but some years ago, just to like look up to other women that are successful, because I always feel challenged by them, or not challenged, but I always feel like there's a competition, and I'm putting myself in a competition that they're not even thinking of. They're just competing with themselves, and I adapted that to like compete with myself and challenge myself, and I would, be the higher version of myself. Um, and also writing helps as well. Um, 'Cause a lot starts to come and it starts to make sense for me when I'm writing. Because I always write about myself, and um, you know, a lot of I answer a lot of my questions, and like, some maybe I still need a therapist, but for the most part, I answer a lot of my questions because I'm about myself a lot, and I write, and I ask myself a lot of questions, a lot of very hard questions, and I have to be truthfully honest about that and about my the questions I ask. It's hard, but it helps with the healing process. Um, yes, I don't want this video to be too long, but yeah, I'm a work in progress, and I'm happy that I am. A lot of people work on themselves. A lot of people are. A lot of people are okay with who they are, the person that who they either portray to be, or they're okay with just having the mediocre things in life and living in the matrix, really. And for me, I like to be aware. And I feel like being aware, you will start to see things in a different light, and just start to understand things differently, and why things are the way they are. So that's it. That's it for now. I'll probably come back later and do another video. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be definitely having, more things to come, more videos like this. And on Wednesdays, I will be posting for Mother and Daughter Day. So, I mean, we have Mother and Daughter Day every day. But on Wednesdays, I'll specifically just showing you guys what I do with her, like during the mornings, what she's eating, the things that I teach her. Yeah, stuff like that. And then on Sundays, I would just be having my random days. I'll just have like, I'll be cooking, probably doing like a video like this, just regular talking. Probably be me and my baby in a video, whatever. So I try to schedule the days that I'm gonna post, because I can be like a little all over the place. But I'm just trying to find some order with, posting videos on YouTube. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys soon.